Good morning. It is Monday, February 3rd, 2020. And today's topic of conversation is change. Felt this was a very important one to discuss. I know that change can bring good things and change can bring bad things, but ultimately, I feel like a lot of us are fighting for a comfort zone. And once you finally find that comfort zone, it becomes really easy to fear and resist change because you fought so hard for it and it's so comfortable once you get there. But as time goes on, I think what we find is that our comfort zones tend to become our prison cells. The topic of the purpose of life is widely debated. I don't think anyone really has a consensus or agrees on it. But for me, I've always said the perfect purpose to life would be to live it. And part of that will involve a lot of change. And overall, what I think people need to start doing is embracing change. And you can see how our nation has been overrun by polarizing factions that just don't want to change. Liberals that lack conservative values, you know? And then conservatives that lack liberal or lack liberty or have a problem with letting people do what they want to do, whatever it is. I think we all need to learn to change a little and be different than who we are. I mean, if you don't want to change, there's another word for that. It's called being stubborn. And there's one thing I really don't get along with well in life, and that's stubborn people. And there's something about being stubborn and not wanting to change that kind of is arrogant. It's kind of a way of saying, I'm perfect. Everything's great the way it is, and there's no changes that need to be made. When has that ever been the truth? When have we ever not felt like there could be improvement? I get it. I understand that some people work really, really hard on creating things, and you don't want to necessarily destroy it or change it because it's good the way it is. Like the wheel, they have that as an example. You don't need to reinvent the wheel, right? It's a simple shape, it works, but I don't know, I think we have continually reinvented the wheel. Even if the shape of a tire is still a circle, there's so much we've done to it, you know? Treading. You can even inflate a tire with nitrogen instead of oxygen because it's lighter, and little things. There's always changes that can be made, even on the most fundamental principles. Because we started off, and we still are, a bunch of foolish humans. And as much as we know, what we should know is that there's still so much to learn. Here's some quotes that I got, because I think quotes are a great way to describe how we feel about things. This one is by Leo Tolstoy. Everyone thinks of changing the world, but no one thinks of changing themselves. That's the first one. Remember that. If you want to change the world, you have to start by changing yourself. I believe that is a quote that's been used by many, many people. Nothing is so painful to the human mind as great and sudden change. Isn't it true? That was by Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley. She was from Frankenstein. I'm not exactly sure if she was a character or a writer or what. Life is a series of natural and spontaneous changes. Do not resist them. That only creates sorrow. Let reality be reality. Let things flow naturally toward in whatever they like, forward in whatever they like. That was Lao Tzu. You can't stop the future. You can't rewind the past. The only way to learn the secret is to press play. That was Jay Asher. Even if you cannot change all the people around you, you can change the people you choose to be around. Life is too short to waste your time on people who don't respect, appreciate, and value you. Spend your life with people who make you smile, laugh, and feel loved. Wow, that is a very simple and beautiful piece of advice. Love can change a person the way a parent can change a baby, awkwardly and often with a great deal of mess. That's Lemony Snicket. This next one is by Friedrich Nietzsche. The snake which cannot cast its skin has to die, as well as the minds which are prevented from changing their opinions. They cease to be mind. I can honestly say most of the people in my life which I have left behind and stopped the effort with were the stubborn ones. The ones that were very clearly adverse to changing their opinions. Which ultimately means that they're lacking the ability to be mindful. And I do not appreciate people who are not mindful. That was by Friedrich Nietzsche, great philosopher. This one I really like. It's by Walt Whitman. It also has to do with the fact that those of you who are stubborn feel like if you change, you're losing, right? Like if you have to all of a sudden have a different opinion, you're not you anymore. Well, this one by Walt Whitman will help you with that. Do I contradict myself? Very well then. I contradict myself. I am large. I contain multitudes. Don't we? Do we need to be one-sided? Do we need to be so pigeonholed and acute that we can't really allow for a difference in opinions? I'm sure you've heard this before. The truth is the truth. Well, who is the, right? Because the truth has to be in relation to something. It's not just some universal thing that exists without any of us to pertain to, right? Next quote. This one's by Barack Obama. Change will not come if we wait for some other person, or if we wait for some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. I'm going to add something to it. Now is the time. Pretty much sums it up. You need to embrace change. Stop being who you are. Be a better version of who you are. Get it now? You're starting to pick up on how you were told that if you change, you're not being true to yourself? Scrap that. If you don't change, you will never become the better version of yourself. Start changing. Start changing now. I've been doing it. And let me tell you what. I love it, and I'm not afraid. You know, I knew more than anything I wanted to get the house that I'm living in right now. But at the time, I had a lot of income, and my finances were pretty good. I had a lot of savings. That's changed. And now I need to not be afraid to possibly sell this house. It's scary. It's such a scary thought because I worked so hard to get it. But who knows? Who knows what amazing things could happen if I just opened my mind up to the possibilities of them. Well, I'm going to do the last couple quotes before we wrap this up. This is one of my favorite quotes. I've always remembered this. I saw it in middle school on a doorway. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. Margaret Mead. And then this one is the best and simplest form to say what a lot of other quotes have said, like Barack Obama's. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. Mahatma Gandhi. So beautiful. And then for my last quote, you know, I've always had this quote, but I thought I stole it from someone, and then I went to Google it, and I couldn't find it. So if you know who came up with this quote, feel free to steal the credit from me. But for now, I'm going to take the credit and say this is my quote. He who resists change will inevitably become its victim. I'll leave you on that. I hope you have a wonderful day and aren't afraid of the changes that come with it, and don't be afraid to initiate some of those on your own. Get the most out of this life. It's the only one you're going to get as far as you know. And really, really remember to be happy, to choose to be happy, and spread that with other people. I love you all. Thank you for watching and supporting. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Your motivation will only encourage me to do better and try harder. Thank you for watching.